It goes without saying that if your company has a network, it should be secure. Traditionally, firewalls have been the answer. However, as we'll discuss with our guests on this segment, the surge of e-commerce and e-business require a whole new set of tools. With us for this segment is our network expert, Fritz Nelson, editor-in-chief of Network Computing Magazine. Also joining us is Carr Biggerstaff, the Senior Vice President of Marketing, Planning, and Business Development at Secure Computing, and Rick Klau, who is Director of Industry Marketing for iManage. Gentlemen, welcome to all of you. So, Fritz, what are some of the key security issues when dealing in an e-business environment?
Well, the thing that e-business has really done is created an environment that opens up a whole new host of untrusted partners. In an e-business, you have to deal with new suppliers, new distributors, new forms of customers, and it's a scary world out there. You know, it used to be cute. We put up things on the internet for marketing purposes or things like that, and somebody would come up and deface a website, and it might even be a little bit funny, if a little embarrassing. But now we're talking about real money. The FBI indicates that we're losing about $100 million a year in financial loss because of security problems. And it's not funny anymore.
You say we're losing. Who do you mean is losing?
The U.S. companies, yes.
Okay. All right.
And that number is probably low because a lot of U.S. companies aren't reporting the breaches that occur and the financial consequences of those breaches.
Who would they report to? Are they reporting to who? The ones that are losing money?
They're reporting to the law enforcement agencies because they're asking for help in tracking down the computer criminals that invaded their electronic systems and took the money.
It's embarrassing to them.
You're currently focusing on providing secure extranets for e-business. Before we go any further, why don't we give us a brief explanation of what securing an extranet means and why doing it is so important?
Well, the extranet is the combination of the internet with the internal business systems that a company has so that they can do business electronically through their systems with customers, suppliers, and partners. So it's internet-based technology, but it's attached to the internal computer systems of a business. And that makes the data that is within that business, the computer systems, vulnerable to attack from outside through the public internet.
The strangers you're talking about.
Yes.
So we don't want to invite into the house.
No, we don't know if we want to invite them in or not.
So we have to have software that helps us decide who gets in and who doesn't.
Exactly.
Okay. To see how this technology works in concrete terms, let's go to this report from the Next Wave's Bill Rafferty in San Francisco, California.
With more websites coming under attack, security is a paramount concern in the cyber marketplace. Increasingly, companies that are in the new business-to-business economy are making their websites available to their customers and partners. These extranets, as they are called, expose critical information to customers and others who are outside the company's control.
Well, companies like ours look to Secure Computing's technology to help us solve problems of securing extranets and building very scalable and very secure firewall-type solutions for companies that are running through peak periods on the intranet and are creating more and more customer transactions.
BigWords.com, this is Paul. How can I help you?
Companies like BigWords.com, the third largest seller of books on the web, are anxious to utilize Secure Computing Technology's software.
A company like ours needs to be very conscious of security from the standpoint of who's actually visiting our site, because we want to make sure that we value our customers, and we want to make sure that it's only our valued customers that are visiting, and that if there are other activity, we need to be able to spot that and react to it as quickly as possible.
Secure Computing Technologies offers its clients the Sidewinder firewall, a gateway firewall they claim to be the most secure in the business, and SafeWord Plus authentication methods, like the SafeWord Plus token.
We enter in a passphrase, and we hit enter, and we see a random number that can be used to authenticate the user over the extranet.
The specific problems that we've had solved with secure computing technology is we actually now have a very solid break between people looking at the front of our website and the data that is actually secured information for our customers.
Reporting from San Francisco, California, this is Bill Rafferty for The Next Wave.
Carr, where do passwords fit in this picture? Are they useful at all? They used to be. Is that a thing of the past?
Sure they are, but the problem with passwords is passwords are easy to discover. You can look over somebody's shoulder and copy a password down, or you can find it on the post-it on their notebook, or you can sniff it off their hard drive. You know, the challenge today comes back to what we were talking about with Fritz a few minutes ago, the opportunity to have a strongly authenticated person connect to your network by using something like a password generator, a token, is a much more powerful way to guarantee security. Let me give you an example. If you go to the ATM to take money out, you use an ATM card and your PIN, two-factor authentication, right? If somebody's going to do that in your place, they have to have both your PIN and that card. So that type of strong authentication guarantees that the person that comes onto the network into your e-business is really who they say they are.
Okay. Rick, I believe iManage specializes in business-to-business collaboration networks. So give us an idea of what a business-to-business collaboration network does and the main security problems facing a network like that.
Sure. Essentially what we're dealing with is what you've got on the network once the people get in. So once they've been authenticated, you now need something for them to do. My opinion is that it's a company's own information that's the most undercapitalized asset that a company has. So a collaborative network is designed to ensure that the right information gets to the right people at the right time. Once that happens, companies are making better decisions, they're making them faster, and they're more cost effective.
Companies are making better decisions because?
Because they have access to the information. Traditionally, companies generate lots of information, whether it's in the contracts that someone's drafting or the budgets that a manager is overseeing, but too often that same information exists in multiple places and the business has no way of ensuring that it gets into the hands of the people who need it.
So the information is valuable.
Absolutely.
It's like money in the bank.
Exactly.
All right, let's go to another report from the Next Wave's Bill Rafferty for a look at the specific solution iManage offers to those organizations who need to share the majority of their content electronically.
In today's business environment, 90% of all information is on paper. In the not-too-distant future, 30% of all information will be on paper and 70% will be electronic media. Few organizations have an adequate system for managing information. iManage Inc. in San Mateo, California is betting that it has the information collaboration solution that will keep information at your fingertips.
Our software solution comprises three elements. There's the InfoCommerce server, which is the system that powers both InfoLook and InfoLink. InfoLook is our integration with Microsoft Outlook. InfoLink is our web-based collaborative product.
InfoLook allows you to drag and drop information in an Outlook environment and make it available through the Outlook interface, while InfoLink is a web-based link for people outside the organization to access information that is stored within, making security an issue.
Well, iManage is very concerned about security, and the reason we've built this system this way is to make sure that even when an email goes out, the only piece of information attached to that email is a link. That link is received by the external recipient. They click on it. If they have a valid username and password, InfoLink allows them to see only the information they're entitled to.
iManage sees their end users as persons being involved in time-driven decision-making projects, like investment bankers and lawyers. But that doesn't mean they're forgetting about the larger organization.
The organizations that adapt this kind of network are typically organizations that consider collaboration and content to be an important aspect of running their day-to-day business.
iManage's InfoCommerce product is designed to bring a variety of people, the customer, their customers' customers, their partners, their suppliers, all of them in one place so they can collaborate and share on information to do their business.
In San Mateo, California, this is Bill Rafferty reporting for The Next Wave.
So the recipient doesn't get an attachment, the recipient gets a link to the document.
That's right.
And has to have a device of some kind to open up that link?
Well, they have to have access, and that access is determined by who they are. So coupled either with a product like what Secure Computing provides, which is doing the user authentication, or some of the tools built into the product itself, you need to make sure that you have control over who has access to the information and what they can do with it.
Who's got the key?
Exactly.
To open that lock. Is security 100% possible, or are we getting even close to that? What do you think?
It's not only not 100% possible, I don't think we're getting close. Some of the latest rashes of security incidents in the industry have, I think, raised the awareness level of people, but the products themselves are not going to solve the problem. We have to build it into our systems and into our business processes. Some of the more thoughtful people in the security industry say that security is not a product, it's a process, and I think that that's absolutely true.
And Carl, what are the main features that companies should look for in security solutions?
Today, because of the e-business driver and the need to have collaboration among companies and customer-supplier access, the biggest challenge is probably larger and larger numbers of users coming in. So you want to have both authentication, for example, whether that's password or token that scales to growing numbers of users. You want to have defensive mechanisms like intrusion detection or a firewall that scale as well. So more and more traffic on the networks, more and more users connecting to work virtually together. You need to have security solutions that scale.
Who are the bad guys here? Who are we securing against? Anybody?
Well, there's a whole bunch of people. You have what are commonly referred to as script kiddies. These are the younger generation who have a lot of time on their hands and a lot of tools at their disposal, and there are a lot of them that are free and downloadable.
What would they do with the information they might get from one of the businesses you do business with? What do they do?
Well, if it were a list of Visa credit card numbers, happened recently to a company that kept those Visa credit card numbers on the website so that their customers could come back and buy and buy and buy, and somebody broke into that website, took those numbers, and they can, of course, use them.
Yeah.
Or they can extort the company to return those numbers.
I see.
And it's a sliding scale. I mean, ultimately, what you've got to make a decision is, do the benefits of working together, collaborating, outweigh the perceived risk? I mean, what you've got, in addition to these people that Fritz refers to, corporate espionage. You've got a company that's doing business on the internet. You've got other companies that potentially want to try and get in and see what information is there that might be valuable, either from a competitive standpoint or from an attempt to interfere with the company's attempts at doing business.
Are there some new methods of security being developed that we haven't talked about here yet?
Well, we've referred to a few of them: intrusion detection, doing vulnerability assessments of your network. There are tools and techniques to doing that. There are lots of groups out there tracking down when security holes are found, putting together electronic newsletters and sending them out and informing people where the holes are so that they can be patched. People who take very good care to keep up on these things will have a better chance of withstanding some of these breaches than others.
What other bad guys are out there beside, what did you call them, kitty trippers?
Script kiddies.
Script kiddies. I got that wrong.
There's an interesting article that
script
kiddies.
Script kiddies. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that's because they collect scripts that are used in an automated fashion to constantly break in until they find a hole in a server.
This is fascinating. I appreciate the conversation. It's really been interesting. I wish we had more time. I thank you all for joining me here today. Rick Klau of iManage and Carl Biggerstaff of Secure Computing, and a special thanks to Fritz Nelson of Network Computing Magazine for serving as our expert. Gentlemen, I've enjoyed it. It's been a pleasure. I'm Leonard Nimoy. Please join us again to watch the future unfold on the next wave.
For more information on the topics discussed on this and other episodes of The Next Wave, please visit our website at www.nextwavetv.com. A portion of this series is sponsored by eBusiness Advisor Magazine and Conference, the guide to success in the new world of e-business, www.advisor.com.